Hi all. Our topic of the discussion for the day would be parental care in fishes. Now we'll see what actually is a parental care. As you might be knowing what parental care is, but then we'll just have a look into how this could be defined. Parental care could be said as an investment in the youngs after fertilization. Okay, to go into a bit more detail, we'll define parental care as any behavior that is performed by parents. It could be either a single parent or it could be both the parents. The behavior performed by any of them that is likely to improve the growth, survival, and reproduction of their youngs. And Robert Rivers, he had even given a more bit elaborate definition, or to say restricted, defined in a restricted way, wherein he said parental care as parental investment, wherein at the cost of the parents, the youngs are reared to a better survival. And it could be defined as any behavior that is performed after the breeding. So, as I said earlier, it could be either carried out by a single parent or both of their parents. Okay, and that would actually contribute to the survival of the offspring. And this is actually evolved in those organisms wherein there is lesser number of eggs, or rather to say limited number of eggs. Those organisms which actually produce limited number of eggs usually adopt this mechanism of parental care. And this particular phenomenon, it does vary considerably from species to species. And as far as our topic fish is concerned, the fish is known to exhibit a little of the parental care. Rather, this particular phenomenon, as they do exhibit only a little parental care, this particular phenomenon, it is usually correlated with the production of greater number of eggs and sperms, wherein there is a chance of greater survival. So as they produce more number of eggs, the survival could increase. As this fish, they just exhibit lesser parental care. For this very particular reasons, they do produce larger number of eggs so that the survival could be increased. And see, even though I said the parental care, it is very little exhibited by the fishes, there are certain exceptions, or to say rather notable exceptions, wherein there is a parental care exhibited by the fish. And now these are some of the facts about the parental care. And you might know what, see the actual classification of fish. There are the bony fishes and there are also the cartilaginous fishes. And when we come to the bony fishes, 21% of the bony fishes do exhibit the parental care. Okay, and among the process of this parental care, guarding is the most commonly exhibited parental care among the fishes. Almost about 95% is being exhibited by the fishes. Okay, and again, as I said, it is a process wherein either parents are in, either one sex of the parent is involved or maybe both the parents. But then, to the fact, see about 78% of fish, they do exhibit the uniparental care, wherein just one sex, any sex would be caring for the youngs. Okay, and again, the male parental care, I said maybe any one of the sex would be caring for the young, either the male or the female. And in case of male parental care, about 61% of the male does care for the eggs when compared to the female. So you can imagine the percentage of females. So here about 61% of the males would care for their young ones. Okay, and see, I said it is the uniparental care, wherein either the male or the female would be caring for the eggs, and I said 61% of the males would care for the youngs. So one thing to be noted here is, in case of external fertilization, where the fertilization is taking place externally, that is in case of oviparous fishes, the male would be carrying the youngs. Okay, so that is a general fact. Wherein the fertilization is external, the males would be caring for the eggs, and wherein the fertilization is internal, rather to say viviparity, viviparity, giving birth to young ones. So in that case, it would be cared by the females. Okay, so they are giving birth to the young ones. So the female is the one which do care for the young ones. They do keep the young ones inside their uterus, supported by the embryonic sac and all those. So the female would be caring for the internal fertilization, and that would account to about 86%. Okay, And compared to freshwater fishes, and according to the habitat, the fish would be either classified as freshwater, brackish water, and marine species. And to the fact, see, 60% of the freshwater fishes, they care or they exhibit the parental care when compared to the marine fishes. Why? Because marine fishes, it is an open space where there are less number of predators and they do have lot of space. And these young ones, they have the capability to escape from the predators by, finding out shelters in the open space in marine environment. So that is different when you compare the freshwater fishes. So 60% of the freshwater fishes, they have or they exhibit the parental care. So now coming to the benefits and cause of parental care. So we had discussed about the benefits, and to say parental care is any behavior that is exhibited by either sex, that is the male or the female fish, in bringing about the young ones, to say in improving their survival, in improving their growth. So all this comes under the benefits of parental care, wherein the survival would be increased. There is a protection given to the young. They would be protecting these young eggs or the young ones from the predators, and there is an increased growth rate, and this would in turn lead to the better development of the youngs. Okay, and these benefits would be achieved through the cause or through the cause of the parents. Okay, through the cause of the parents, in the sense that, see, the parents, they exhibit this phenomenon, they spend a lot of energy, a lot of time in exhibiting this phenomenon, and this would in turn lead to their decreased parental survival. Why? Because see, they are looking after the young ones, and it is a time wherein they would spend much energy, but at the same time their feeding would be limited. Okay, so there are chances that there are decreased parental survival, and then there would be again increased time between the maturity, because see, there is the first maturity happening, the fertilization and all those, they spend their time in caring for the young ones, and this would often prolong the time for the next fertilization, for the next breeding. Okay, and then again the reduced future fecundity. So this is the percentage of the parental care is exhibited by the fishes, wherein 77% of the fish, they do not show parental care, but instead they do produce large number of eggs, and this could increase the survival of the eggs. Okay, eggs and the young ones. Okay, and 17% care for just the eggs. It's not the young ones that they care for, but it's just the eggs that they care for. And see, the 6% of the fishes, they care for the eggs and the newly developed young ones. Okay, so this is the percentage how the parental or how this phenomenon is being exhibited. So now coming to the parental care, we had discussed what is parental care or what are the cause and benefits of parental care, the percentage of parental care, where it is being exhibited, or to say which species, the type of fishes that exhibit the parental care. Now we'll just see what are the different mechanisms by which they exhibit the parental care. Okay, so there is a deposition of eggs in suitable places. So the parental care, in case of when we consider the parental care, there are the oviparous fishes, the viviparous fishes. Okay, so when oviparous fishes, that is laying eggs, oviparous fishes, they deposit the eggs in suitable places, or else they deposit the eggs in self-made nests, okay, or self-built nests, right? Or else they would be concealing the eggs and young ones in or onto their body. Okay, and the next one would be the viviparity. So these are the different mechanisms by which they adopt the process of parental care. Now we'll discuss each and every point. Now first one would be the egg deposition. So egg deposition, this would happen of course in oviparous fishes, wherein the fish would lay the eggs. Okay, so in certain cases, see, what happens is when these fish lay eggs, these eggs are surrounded by a sticky material. Okay, so there is a sticky material around them, and so this would help the eggs to attach together in some cases, as in the case of carps, or else in some other fish, in case of goldfish, carps, carassius, etc. What happens is that this sticky nature, this would allow the eggs to settle on the aquatic weeds. Okay, so that is a video you can see there. So the eggs would be attached onto the aquatic weeds because of the sticky nature of the eggs. Okay, thereby it would be prevented from getting detached off, and this would increase for their survival. Okay. Now, next you can see a floating mass here. So this is actually a floating mass of larvae. If you can look carefully, you can see the larvae inside that floating mass. See, this is actually the floating mass of yellow perch, the fish. So here again, the eggs are sticky in nature and they would be deposited into a rope-like mass. And these egg mass would be attached together just as a floating mass, after which the eggs would have the larvae inside. See, all those moving things, those are the larvae. So it just gets hatched off from the particular egg. Okay, so they have the sticky nature wherein they just get attached together, forming into a mass, and this would increase their chance of survival. Okay, now you have again the deposition of eggs. So the eggs would be deposited in pits. So the pits usually these fish, they just make pits in gravel or any substrate wherein they can excavate the pits. So they just make the pits and then they just lay the eggs, and it is covered by the substrate, maybe the gravels or sands in that sort. So this would be protected inside the pits, and then the males, in this case usually the males, they just take care of the eggs by aerating the particular place wherein the eggs are being deposited. So next, now we had just talked about the deposition of eggs in suitable places. Now we'll see about the nest building process. So a basin-like nest. So in this case, usually a basin-like nest is formed using the various aquatic vegetation or pebbles or any material of that sort, the substrates, and then they just make a basin-like nest wherein the eggs are being laid. Okay, so the eggs would be laid, and then the males would be coming, and they would be again taking care of the eggs. It's usually most commonly exhibited in darter fish. So this is the basin-like nest which is formed by the fish. Now, next coming to the circular nest. So this is actually a nest which is made by the bowfin fish. So here they make circular nest, and the males usually make the nest, and then it attracts the females, and then the females would lay the egg, it would fertilize the egg, and after which it would again take care of the young. So the young ones would be developed inside the pit, and the youngs would be taken away together with the father, and the father, that is a male parent, it would be looking after the larvae, okay, the hatched ones. Next one would be the foamy nest, the most familiar one to you, I suppose. The fighter fish, wherein you can see in the picture the bubble nest being formed, and that is a video showing how the fighter fish would form the bubble nest. So the male fish, here it is a male parental care most commonly exhibited. So the male fish, actually what he does is he just blows out bubbles using air and it's mucus. Okay, so the mucus is sticky in nature, so it just blows out the bubble so that the bubbles are formed on the upper surface of the water. Okay, so that is what is known as the foamy nest. It's most commonly exhibited in the fighter fish. So when there is the female, the eggs would be laid by the female, and there is a fertilization happening. And what the male does is the male would carry these eggs inside its mouth. So carrying the eggs inside its mouth, it again has got the sticky mucus so that the eggs would be carried to the bubbles. So the next would be the barrel shaped nest, wherein the male fish, they would be constructing the barrel shaped nest from the different substrates available, and so the male would usually be constructing the nest, and it would be inviting the females, and again the eggs would be fertilized from within the pit, and the young eggs would be fertilized inside this nest, and again the young ones would be kept inside the nest. So this is the nest building habitat of the particular fish. So you can see from the video, see the fish is constructing the nest in the particular aquatic vegetation. So the nest usually seems to be a barrel, so that's why the name, the barrel shaped nest. So now we had discussed about the deposition of eggs in suitable places and the deposition of eggs in self-made nests. Now we'll just move on to the next category of parental care, wherein the eggs would be concealed in or on their body. So it would be either the eggs being concealed by the fish, or maybe the young ones would be concealed within the body of the fish or on the body of the fish. So this is a video wherein you have the skates here. So the skates, they are usually oviparous, that is the oviparous sharks or the skates. So they exhibit the oviparity condition, and they would be laying the eggs, and this would be protected in horny capsules. So these are the horny capsules, often known as the mermaid's purse. So the eggs would be protected within this particular case, and they would be attached by means of tendrils to different substrata. So this is the mermaid's purse, and see in the next picture you can see the larvae getting out of the capsule. Okay, so this is actually known as the mermaid's purse in case of oviparous sharks or skates. So the eggs would be laid in this particular horny capsules, and they have got the tendrils by means of which they would be attaching to different substrate. So the next one would be the eggs attached to the cephalic hooks. So here the male nursery fish, that is a Curtis species. So they have a particular area over the head portion wherein the eggs are being attached, and it is being attached to the body by means of cephalic hook. So here they show the parental care by carrying the eggs onto this cephalic region, and the young ones being getting hatched out from this particular eggs. So it is through the cephalic hook, they just attach this egg mass onto their body. The next one would be the eggs in integumentary cups. So in this case, the lower surface of the female fish, it would be actually soft, and when this particular area presses the eggs, it would be attaching to the eggs, and these eggs would be carried on their lower surface by means of integumentary cups, and this would be attached to the body up till its hatching. So these are the integumentary cups. Usually they would be attached to the lower surface of the fish. So this again is the next method adopted by the fish as a method of parental care, wherein there is a calling around the eggs. So what happens here is that this particular phenomenon is exhibited by the butterfish, that's Follis species. So here these fish, they would turn the eggs into a roll, and these mass would be protected by the fish, either the male or the female fish. So this male or the female fish, they would be calling around this mass, and they would be protecting the eggs. So first they would be rolling the eggs. See, you can see from the picture, the eggs, it would be appearing as a roll of egg mass, and so this one would be protected by the male or the female fish, either any one of the fish. They would be calling around this egg, and the eggs would be protected. The next one would be the eggs and youngs being protected inside the mouth cavity. So this is a common phenomenon which at least some of you might have noted. So this is actually the case with tilapia fish, wherein the eggs and the young ones, both the eggs and the young ones, they would be protected in the mouth cavity of the fish. So here the eggs would be within the cavity of the fish, and they would be hatching out from the mouth cavity, and again the young ones, that would also be taken into the mouth cavity. So here you can see from the video wherein these fish, they just pick up the eggs, keep it in the mouth, the fertilized eggs, from where the eggs are being hatched. See, the fish is spitting out the larvae. So they spit out the larvae, and these larvae or the young ones, they usually accompany the parents. Okay, the female one, and when it is with the female parent, as and when a danger does occur, what happens is the fish, it would take the larvae into its mouth, and the larvae or the young ones are still protected inside the mouth cavity of the fish. Next is the eggs in brood pouch. Again, an interesting parental care exhibited by seahorse, pipefish, etc. So the females, after the fertilization of the egg, they would be depositing the egg mass into the brood pouch of the male fish. See, here is a brood pouch, and the young ones would be hatched out from the brood pouch of the male fish. So here the male seahorse actually exhibits the parental care. So after fertilization, the female would be depositing the fertilized eggs into the brood pouch of the male. So the male would be looking after the eggs, and here the larvae would be hatched out from the brood pouch. This is again a phenomenon of parental care exhibited by the fish, that is viviparity. Unlike oviparity, here it is viviparity, meaning giving birth to young ones. So the points we just have discussed now is all about the oviparous fishes, when they just take care of the eggs and the young ones. But here the condition is different. Here they give birth to the young ones. So the young ones are directly produced and they would be nourished inside the uterus of the mother, and the young ones would be produced. Unlike the oviparous fishes, wherein the eggs are produced, here they would give birth to live fish. Okay, so this phenomenon is most commonly exhibited by the fishes such as platies, guppies, mollies, etc. So you might have seen this. At least some of you would be holding this fish in your aquarium, and you might have had a chance of seeing all these guppies, mollies, platies giving birth to young ones. So next is ovoviviparity. So here the term is ovoviviparity. So it is a condition or the parental care that comes intermediate between the oviparity and the viviparity. So here they do not give birth to the young ones directly, they do not lay the eggs directly. But instead what happens is that the eggs are carried inside the stomach, and these would be protected in whole egg case, and the young ones would be hatched by breaking the shell. Okay, so this is an intermediate condition between the oviparity and the viviparity. So most cases see the nurse sharks, for example, exhibit this particular parental care. So now we had discussed about the various phenomena adopted by the fish as its parental care adaptations or parental care methods, and we had already discussed that all these fish they have or they exhibit a little of parental care. But the parental care the fish exhibits, unlike other animals, they are of very diverse nature. And for this very same reason, these particular fish, they could be used as model organisms for understanding the various evolutionary origins of the parental care. Okay, so with this, I will wind up for the day.